Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is CMC Broadcasting, back with another video. Real quick before we get into tonight's content, and we've got a lot of interesting and important things to talk about. We're going to go through some news items. We're going to talk about a stock that I'm very interested in, Regions Financial, and I'll explain why. And then we're going to talk about my trades on Apple. We'll just kind of go over some stocks that I've been looking at, some stocks I made money on today, and we'll look at the long-term portfolios. Before I get into all that, though, I see the comments. People, they miss the old content, and we built up this channel over the last few years, reporting on news and reporting on YouTube drama, and it was really fun while it lasted. But there are still, comments out there where people are really wanting to see those kind of videos. And unfortunately, I really have to stand my ground here. Unfortunately, I just won't be providing that kind of content anymore because I've been trading and investing and, really getting into the stock market. I don't even have time really to keep up with it. Like, if you guys actually knew, behind the scenes how out of the loop I really was, you wouldn't really want to hear my opinion on any of that kind of stuff. I do suggest watching maybe the RR show or Catalyst News. They're covering some, they're covering the day-to-day stories and stuff that some of you are probably missing over here on this channel. So shout out to RR, shout out to Catalyst. Definitely go and check out their channels because I think they're still making the AC content and stuff like that. But yeah, unfortunately, I have to stand my ground here, and we're fundamentally changing the content of the channel. So for those of you that are here for it, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for standing by. And some of you seem to be really interested in this stuff, and we're attracting newer viewers as well. So to the new viewers, thank you for hanging out on the channel. And if you see those kind of comments, it's understandable, right? It is a very fundamental shift. So, don't be mean to those people or whatever. But, just understand, guys, that, I got to do what's right for me. I got to focus on, my life and making money and being positive. And, I'll say that too. Since I've been in the stock market, and since I've been, really focusing on how can I make money? How can I get rich? It's really put me in a better headspace. Like, I wouldn't even want to go back to the drama and the news and, the back and forth between the president and, it's just, all of that is crazy, that the political stuff is so divisive. I feel like people who are actually making money and like having a good life, they're not really putting their political opinions and stuff out there. They're not having those kind of discussions because it's so divisive. It's so, it's just so messy. So I got to do what's right for me. I'm sort of moving on from that. That was kind of my old life. And I got to grow up too. I got to grow up. I can't spend, the rest of my life gossiping on YouTube. I've made a decision. And so once I got the bug, right, this, investing and trading, once it clicked and once I got the bug, I tried to sort of fight it, but after a couple of months, it was probably around June, I just sort of realized, it was when I sort of took that hiatus on YouTube. I just sort of realized, I gotta do better, and I gotta be positive, and I gotta focus, and I gotta get this money. So, that being said, let's go ahead and, talk about what's going on here. So the S&P 500 is down slightly. You can see we kind of were trying to rally, but it was a lot of consolidation, okay? Here's the S&P right here. A lot of consolidation followed by a move to the downside is how the day sort of ended. But I do want to go over the news. We're going to look at the charts. We've got the workhorse chart up. We've got Apple. We're going to be talking about my trades on Apple. Also, ExxonMobil, as you guys can see down here in the lower right-hand corner. ExxonMobil kind of took a move to the upside. So is that maybe a sign, a bullish sign for ExxonMobil? Is anybody bullish on ExxonMobil? Let me know in the comment section down below. Its share price is closed at $37.81. But before we get into all this, let's actually talk about the news. We're gonna go through some news items. We'll talk about my my trades on Apple today. I actually traded Workhorse also. And then we'll look at the long-term portfolios. I've got the Ally Financial account and the Robinhood account, and we got the WeBull account. So we'll look at the long-term portfolios and just see what's going on there. But we had a big meeting with Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. Now, basically, to sum it all up, he says that rates are going to stay they're going to stay low, right? They're planning on not increasing rates until at least 2023. And he also basically told America that, as far as the Fed and the interventions and, supporting the economy, he said, quote, "We are not out of ammo." So that might have led to the Dow being up about 36 points today. And like I said, the S&P, we tried to rally there on that, on the news and Jerome Powell's statements, but it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And some of the Dow leaders were actually Walgreens, Chevron, Boeing, surprisingly, because there's been some bad news coming out about Boeing and so a couple of crashes that happened. Also Merck. We'll talk about some of the vaccine news and the pharmaceutical news as well. So those were some of the Dow leaders today. Oil is up, which is interesting. Some of the airlines are up. And then you've got the pharmaceutical industry and the Walgreens type of stocks. Walgreens was up 3%. Chevron was up 2.9%. Boeing was up 2.7%. And Merck was up 2%. The Dow losers, right? Some of the biggest ones were the tech, right? Apple down 2%, Microsoft down 1%, Nike down 3%. When it comes to Microsoft, I do want to talk about the TikTok deal a little bit here in a second, but basically it looks like we're not going to have higher interest rates until at least way into 2023. And Jerome Powell says they're going to be, I guess, artificially supporting the economy any way they can. They did not commit to buying any more bonds or, purchasing any more securities and treasuries. And so the bond market was actually up a little bit on that news. But, overall, I think the economy, they can make it seem as good as they want it to look, right? I mean, they can fudge the numbers. They can really tell us anything and, add everything up in a way that's going to make the news feel more optimistic, make the media feel more optimistic about it. And in turn, that's going to trickle down, to the American people, even though, entire sectors of our economy have been completely obliterated, right? We've got mass power outages in California, mass homelessness on the West Coast. The entire West Coast is, up in flames right now. We got hurricanes. We've got still the, I guess you could say, the lingering effects of all of these government shutdowns here in the United States, and not to mention just the state of the global economy. I think the global economy is supposed to contract by like over 5% or something I read the other day. So, these are very serious implications, and all of this is going to affect our everyday lives. But I think as far as like an ultimate crash or some sort of, the bubble is going to pop or, just kind of all this doom and gloom we hear about. I'm not sure if the Fed is as powerful as, they want us to believe they are. They're not going to let that happen, right? They're going to kind of just keep us floating along as long as they possibly can. And, maybe the economy and the markets have sort of stabilized to a certain extent. But let's see. Let's talk about Microsoft here, because this is another thing that's leading the stock market is the TikTok deal. Okay, and Microsoft did not get the TikTok deal. TikTok is actually going to be, partnering with Oracle. And, this is pretty typical of the way, I guess this is pretty typical. What I want to say is this is typical of China's relationship with the United States, right? China, says one thing and the United States is under a certain, impression. And then China kind of plays dumb, right? And takes the position that, oh, you thought we wanted to sell TikTok. No, we want to be a partner, right? They sort of play dumb and sort of manipulate. And, the United States thinks we're getting one thing out of the deal. And, China has to sort of reaffirm that, no, we're not actually selling TikTok. We don't want to sell the technology. We don't want to sell the algorithms. We want to, hold on to all that. We want to partner with the U.S. And that's what we're getting out of this TikTok Oracle deal. And, this is concerning. This is a national security concern because it opens, it allows China to have access to lots of American data, right? And American data of children, no less. Now, when it comes to Microsoft, they were one of the bidders, I suppose, for a couple of weeks for TikTok. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out, right? TikTok pretty much rejected Microsoft's bid. That being said, there's a couple of things here to really note. Number one, that means that Microsoft is losing access to a huge base of kids that use this platform, right? Basically the next generation. That's a loss for Microsoft. Not only that, but all of the data that these kids are providing TikTok, Microsoft is not going to have access to that now. Okay, so this is not necessarily a good thing. It's not a good thing necessarily for America or for Microsoft. Now, there is a little bit of maybe a silver lining here, and I'll just read a quote from this Yahoo article. It says, but there could be a silver lining to Microsoft's loss in that it won't have to deal with the potential fallout that may come if the deal doesn't work in the long run. It also helps Microsoft escape the kind of scrutiny that comes with working alongside a consumer-focused social network. And that's the truth, right? Because, Facebook has gotten into a little bit of trouble with the government. I think it was, Facebook and Amazon and maybe Twitter or Google. They had to, answer questions for some House committee. So Microsoft is kind of maybe avoiding some of that drama, but all in all, I think it is kind of a loss for Microsoft. Now, the future of Microsoft is cloud computing. Like, that's really what they're doing best. But yeah, this TikTok deal seems like it's been, we've been talking about it, or the media has ban talking about it for a while now. And they're not actually going to sell TikTok. They want to partner with Oracle, with an American company. So yeah, the teens and data, it's a loss for Microsoft all in all. If Microsoft was able to score that deal, it probably would make them a lot more relevant when it comes to, social media and I guess tech, consumer tech, if that makes sense. So let's just go over a few points about what happened today. All right, this is from CNBC. The Dow Jones Industrial Average did rise 36 points, but again, tech were some of the biggest losers. It was more of these value stocks that was bringing the stock market up. The S&P 500 slid about half a percentage point, 5%, and the Nasdaq as well did drop. Like I said, the Fed is going to keep rates low for years to come. All right. And tech is still in sort of correction mode, maybe not bear market mode yet, but definitely still in this correction. We're kind of bobbing up and down, trying to regain some of the losses. And we also have a weekly jobless claim set for Thursday, right? This information coming out. And housing starts numbers are also on the agenda. So let's just quickly talk about the vaccine, right? Because the vaccine it really has a huge effect on the market. As soon as we get good vaccine news, a lot of the value stocks start to rise, the airlines start to rise, and, people are bag holding airline stocks and hotel stocks and Carnival cruise stocks, just waiting for good news. And I think Trump is being a little bit manipulative here because he says, the vaccine is going to be out before the election. It'll be out before the end of the year. It'll be out by October. And then the CDC and, Fauci and all the health agencies come out and basically say, no, that's not exactly true. I think Trump does want to be optimistic, right? Trump is not a negative Nancy like, everybody else around him usually. And so he's trying to be optimistic, but I do think he's being misleading because, you had like the AstraZeneca vaccine that's causing very serious side effects, right? They're I think in like stage 2 or 3 of their trials, and people are getting sick from this particular vax. And we have a lot of different bidders, but according to Bill Gates, right? And Bill Gates, you guys know he's not my favorite person, right? I'm not gonna. We won't get into all that, but if there's one person that knows where the vax is probably going to come from and who's going to develop it first, it could be Bill Gates, right? And he says that Pfizer has the best shot at getting a vax as early as possible, as quick as possible. And so, Pfizer is kind of an established company, but there's a few companies that are bidding. There's even a Chinese company now that claims they're on the verge. I personally don't, I don't want to take the vax at all, right? I mean, according to polls, I think it's something like 40% of Americans are very sketched out by this vax. But, I don't get flu shots myself. I feel like natural immunity and our immune systems are very powerful things. We shouldn't really allow somebody else to, possibly damage that. And, just ask the victims from the AstraZeneca trials, right? I mean, they're having all kinds of problems. So, as far as maybe a vax coming from China, I probably wouldn't be interested at all in taking that, even if it meant that I could ride a plane, I could travel. I don't know how I feel. If this thing came from China, which, we know it did. Even Tucker Carlson last night interviewed a Chinese national, a researcher, and according to her, this was something that was man-made in a lab. If all of this stuff came from China, why should we trust them to, cure the issue? So, not political, but this is concerning because, we have the Operation Warp Speed. Trump is promising something soon, right? Really, really soon. They're talking about fast tracking this, bypassing regulations. And this is our health. This is global health we're talking about here. And it does affect the economy. It affects the markets and it affects the government shutdown. So I think we should prepare to sort of bunker down this winter. I don't think, things are just going to flourish anytime soon. But if we do get good news, if Trump really does know something that we don't, you're going to see these stocks like the airline stocks, the cruise line stocks, some of the banks, the financials. You'll see, retail and restaurant stocks, the Cheesecake Factory, Cake, and Dave & Buster's, right? These are the stocks that are going to benefit from good news. And if there is a time to maybe start adding some of that to your portfolio, it would probably be now. I mean, one stock I'm interested in that we're going to talk about when we go into the long-term portfolios is Regions Financial. All right, they didn't have as much problems through this pandemic as some of the other big banks did. They pay a nice dividend. We'll get into that, but I did buy some Regions Financial today. So yeah, that's the news. Just wanted to give you guys the update there and kind of, talk about how I think all these events are going to affect the markets. As far as the overall market, with the S&P 500, I think we're still in correction territory. I still think we're going to bob up and down for a couple of weeks. Let me actually go to the SPY here on the big chart. I think we could see a few more days, right? Maybe even a week or so before we kind of take off, right? September is going to be very difficult. I'm a little nervous because we are under the 20-period moving average right now. Okay, so we're pretty much at previous resistance, right, from back before the crash in March. We're pretty much at that point right now where we're finding support on the S&P 500. Let's just hope we can stay there and we don't take another leg lower, which would, I would say the next line of support would probably be right here. Let me just chart this out. Probably be right here at this previous resistance point. This was from back in June 5th, actually. So that would be 320 on the SPY. That would be the next line of support. Could we hit it? It's absolutely possible. But for sure, I think we're still in a consolidation mode. I mean, you can see it on the chart, right? We're sort of chopping sideways. We're going up and back down and up a little bit. So I think we're going to consolidate at this area. If we do make another leg lower, we'll probably consolidate. And this is going to take a couple of weeks, right? The recovery from this correction, and I don't even want to say recovery because this is healthy, right? We need this. We need support. We need, good market sentiment. This could last for a couple of weeks before we start going up. But that being said, let's take a look at my some of the stocks that I traded today. One of them was actually Apple. I did take a trade on Workhorse, which I have down here. And I also want to talk about ExxonMobil because let's actually look at ExxonMobil real quick. So ExxonMobil, as you can see here, took a nice move to the upside, right, on the lower right-hand corner. Nice move to the upside. I'll open it up on the bigger chart here. We were in a major, not a major demand zone, but kind of a mini demand zone down here. But we do have demand at like the $30 mark. I don't think we're going to go that low. This could be a sign that, this is the daily chart right here. This could be a sign that ExxonMobil is, ready to reverse. It could have had something to do with Jerome Powell's statements today. Maybe ExxonMobil's still going to go a little bit lower, maybe 35, 34. I don't think we'll hit the March lows, but of 30. But who knows? Maybe this is a sign of a reversal. We're still under the 20-period moving average, but we did hit sort of a demand down here. I mean, I'll show you on the 5-minute chart. We definitely had some kind of demand in after hours yesterday, a demand zone, because we had a period of consolidation. Right? Let me actually just move this over. This is the period of consolidation right here where we sort of chopped, okay? And then we, in pre-market this morning, we got a huge move to the upside. And then when it opened, boom, right? Should have bought calls on ExxonMobil. So this is good to see. Exxon needed a day like this. It's been a while since we've had an update. I mean, if you go and look at the chart, it's just been weeks of this, just weeks. I swear, weeks and weeks and weeks of ExxonMobil plummeting. Well, let's look at Workhorse. So Workhorse is electric vehicles. All right, they're on the verge of receiving at least a portion, a very big portion, possibly 50% or more, of a $6 billion government contract to basically build the new fleet for the USPS, the United States Postal Service. So I'm invested actually on WeBull. Let me actually open this up real quick. Let me go to my account. So you can see here are my positions. Workhorse is down here. I am up 17% right now on 5 shares. I should have, in hindsight, loaded up and gotten at least like 10 or 15, but 17% is not bad, up about $20 on 5 shares. I think Workhorse is going to go to the moon. Now, I did trade Workhorse, right? We got this huge movement to the upside. I got in around this area here. I think I was a little bit early because I got in on one of these red candles, but it really held that level of support. It held this demand zone very well. And then I think I sold it. Let me see here. I sold it a few minutes, maybe a half an hour later or so. So I got in right about here, and I think I sold on this red candle up here, right? Could have held a little bit longer, but I wanted to lock in profits. My brother was trading in this as well. He locked in profits. So it was a good day, right? And I also made some money. I'm trading with my dad's account. So I had a October 16th call. I wanted to go ahead and lock in the profits on that as well, and we made about $100 on that one. So definitely a good day on Workhorse. As far as, getting in long term, I don't think it's too late. I think Workhorse is going to be like a $40, $50, $60 stock. I mean, if it gets this contract, right, we're talking at least a $50 stock. So I don't think it's priced in because not that many people know about it. Yes, there's traders, but that are holding. But like, let me show you the options here. This is how you know this stock is probably going to end up going to the moon. So you see this strike price of $30 on Workhorse. This is the October 16th call. The strike price of $30. You have almost 14,000 people holding this stock, right? On the open interest, this is how many people are holding it long term. 14,000 people are holding this thing. So, you know, when I got in on my father's account a few days ago, it was at, you know, like 300 or 320. It's doubled that. Or not doubled, but it's up at 400, 420 right now, right? The bid is 400. The ask is 420, right? I'm even thinking about getting back in because I think this is going to be like, you know, this is going to be like a 7, 8, maybe even $1,000 contract by October 16th. So I don't think it's too late to get in long term. I would try to wait for a pullback, you know, before I buy more shares. My average cost is, you know, kind of low. So, you know, if we went back into this price here the next couple of days, right, maybe like that $25 mark, got a little pullback there, I would definitely get in. If we went lower than that, like 22, 23, I would probably buy as much as I possibly could. So I don't think it's too late to get in. But, you know, we're at all-time highs with Workhorse. Let's look at my Apple trade, all right? So Apple, as you can see, is trading in a range. We've got a huge supply zone above. Let me show you on the 4-hour chart. We've got a huge supply zone above us, okay? Very big supply zone. And we have what looks to be strong demand. You know, we've got, let's see, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels of demand underneath us. So, you know, it's hard for me to imagine Apple going to 90 or 85, right? It's not that it couldn't happen, right? It's not that we couldn't come down here. This is like 90 right here, 90, 95. It's not like that couldn't happen, right? This is a big demand zone, right? You've got the period of consolidation followed by a strong move to the upside. Then you've got another period of consolidation followed by another strong move to the upside. So there's good demand down there. There are buy orders probably sitting there waiting for this stock to drop. It's not that it couldn't. I just, it's hard for me to imagine, right? Apple is a very, very strong stock. It's got a cult following. And I do have several shares. I think I've got about 3 or 4 shares now. So it pays a dividend. So long term, it's definitely something to get in. But you can see we're trading in a range, right? We're sort of bouncing off supply, bouncing off of demand, bouncing off supply, bouncing off of demand. Maybe we'll get a little bit of an update tomorrow, but it seems to trade up during after hours and pre-market, and then it just plummets when the market opens. That seems to be the recent pattern for Apple. But we've got a lot of selling pressure, right? I mean, this is the downward trajectory right now. That's a lot of selling pressure. So let's look at the 5-minute chart here, and we'll just talk about my day trade real quick. I kind of messed up. I was expecting a little bit more momentum today and maybe a little bit of an update. And so I did take a losing trade on a call. I realized my mistake, right? I think I was reading the 1-minute chart. Let me look at the 1-minute chart. The 1-minute chart, sometimes I really should stop reading this so much because there is a lot of noise. But I was trying to get a quick scalp in here, and you know, it looked like a lot of volume was coming in. You can see that green bull volume on the 1-minute chart coming in. And I knew we had supply above us, but I was thinking we were going to, you know, I was going to jump in and we'd kind of, you know, that I'd sell at the top. Well, it didn't work out that way. I got in and then it kind of almost immediately reversed on me. So as soon as we broke that, you know, opening area, and this red candle formed, I got out and then I switched my position and bought puts. I was down about $30. So, I felt confident getting in puts because we were in, you know, we had a supply zone above us. We had topping tails on all of these candles on the 1-minute chart. If you look at the 5-minute chart, all right, look at the 5-minute chart. First of all, we have heavy selling pressure from the day before. Okay, all the pivots are pretty much above us. And keep in mind, too, we had a gap from the other day, okay, from like 2 days ago, Monday. It gapped up. So I figured it was going to try to fill this gap. And it was under the moving average. When you look at it on WeBull, like let me show you Apple on WeBull where I've got some indicators. When you look at Apple with some indicators like VWAP and the 20-period moving average and the 200-period moving average, it was under all of those indicators, right? You've got the 200 period moving average here. You've got the VWAP. The yellow line is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. And then you've got that blue line is the 20 period moving average. And it was under all three of them. So I felt confident holding puts. Now, I got 2 puts. I knew I had to try to make up the $30 loss. And, I was going to have to make that up before I could profit. And I sold, we probably got in right around here, right? So, I got in that bad call. I thought we were going to go up. We didn't. And I sold on this red candle. I probably got in puts maybe on this green candle or that green candle. So, not a bad entry. I can actually look at it on my monitor. Let's see. The first put I got in was at 944, and then I got in at 1014. So let's see here. 944 would have been right here on this red candle. So I got in a little bit too early. And then, what did I say? 1014? 1010, right? That's what I said. Yeah, 1010. So I got in here, and then I added another one right here on this red candle. And we had this period of consolidation too. So we were basically in a supply zone on the 5-minute chart. And I held all the way down here, okay? And I got out at about, that would be, I think, what time is that? Let me look here. Where's the time? That would be about 10:45, I think. Let me see. Yep, 10:48. I got out at 10:48. So I got out probably at the bottom of probably right here at the bottom of this red candle. Now, this was a key area of support because if you look back a couple of days, right? So I got out right here in this area. That is where support was on Monday, right? You can see this right here, right? The stock kind of opened and consolidated and boom, kind of found support right around here. So that was a key area of support. And that was my target, right? When we jump in these trades, we're not randomly getting in these trades. Okay, we have price targets. Now, could I have held it longer? Yeah, sure. I could have held it all day if I wanted to. And, that would have been good money. That would have been decent money. I knew it was going to fill the gap too, but, I'm scalping these. I wanted to secure profit. So I made up for my loss and I profited $50. Okay, that's what I made on my platform. It says $57 for the P&L, and so it came out to be about $52 because I have to pay $1.30 in option fees. It's not called commissions, but it's basically like a commission. So 130 times 4, took 4 trades today. So 57 minus 4, it's about $52 that I made, right? And I'll take that. So I'm up this week trading Apple. I'm up 150. Haven't had a losing day yet, but this has been a slow week. This has been a hard market to trade in. I'm new at this, so to see Apple, fail again and again and again and look so strong in pre-market and just have it fail. That seems to be the pattern, right? And I think we're going to do that again, right? I think probably in after hours and pre-market, it's going to go up and then boom, we're going to go back down. So I think Apple's going to bounce around for a while, but long term, I'm very bullish on Apple. I think Apple is a very strong buy. I think Apple is going to change the world. And, if you're interested in getting into options trading and stuff, you can start with like as little as $1,000. I made a video about this that I'm going to post on my vlog channel, my main, my other channel, the bigger one with 13,000 subscribers. You can start with as little as $1,000. You could even start with 500, right? My brother has less than 200 in his account. Okay. He started with 150. Today he's got a 191, and it's taken us about 2 weeks to get there. But, you can, like, if you just want to do one trade a day, you could put $200 in a TD Ameritrade account, get the Thinkorswim platform, and you could trade. I would suggest, though, probably $1,000, because let's say you get a contract that costs $250. You could theoretically take about 4 trades, 3-4 good trades every day. You don't got to worry about the pattern day trader rule, right? Because it's options and blah, blah, blah. Go watch my other video if you want, more information about how to get started. But So yeah, that was my day on Apple. Obviously, we have a lot of rejection up at these higher prices well, not even higher prices, right? At 114, 113. And seeing it go this low, knowing I had puts, I could have held longer and probably made a lot more money, but I'm very happy with the fact that I didn't stay for that reversal. I'm very happy that, I made out with profit because not everybody did. People are bleeding in this correction right now, and I'm making money day trading. And you can too, right? Like, I never thought I would be doing this. If you had asked me like a year ago if I would be doing this, I would have thought that was crazy. And as I get more money, in my account, I'm going to have bigger days, but now it's just about practicing. It's about just staying green every week, staying profitable, just sticking to my trading plan. I'm not trying to make $1,000 in one day. Will it happen? Yes, but it's going to happen when, God allows it to happen. God willing, and when God's ready on his time, he's going to grant me the success that I'm, long-term going for. But for now, I just got to stick to my strategy, right? I'm cutting my losses. I'm letting my winners, run enough. I've got price targets and profit targets. I'm not just randomly getting out. I'm getting out at key areas of support, resistance, or supply or demand. Not over trading, right? I took 4 trades today. So I didn't over trade. And that's pretty much where we're at with the day trading. So let's take a look at the long-term portfolios. The first thing I want to talk about, though, before we get into that, is on my Robinhood account, I bought a few shares, 3 shares of Regions Financial. This was actually kind of like a little recommendation from a buddy of mine online. And, when you go to look at this, they pay a nice dividend. But the reason that really, that I got in, right, that sort of sold me on buying a few shares of this and adding it to my Robinhood dividend portfolio, because this portfolio is probably going to be more bank related, as my Ally Financial dividend portfolio is going to have more real estate and REITs, stuff like that. But both of them will probably have oil, but I think one is going to be more bank heavy, the other one will be more like real estate. So I can diversify and just try some different strategies. But the reason I want to get into Regions Financial is because it is undervalued, right? When you go to look at the chart, ticker symbol RF, right? Go to look at the daily chart. All right. Very strong, steady chart. This is a nice, healthy chart. It's had recent highs of $14. It's at $12.12. That's where it closed today. All right. It was $17 before the crash. And then when you look at the weekly chart, all right, it was even higher than that. It was $20. So this stock has some room to run, and it's looking very healthy, and it pays a dividend. But and something else I want to show you guys real quick before I get into the main reason why I bought this is on the weekly chart. When you look at the 20-period moving average on a weekly chart, when you see a green candle sort of, blast past the very last red candle. So you've got a red candle, right, near the 20-period moving average on a weekly chart. You've got a red candle. As soon as you see this green candle, go higher than the open or go higher than the high of the very last red candle, that's a time to get in. Okay. I got that tip from Oliver Velez. He said it in a YouTube video one time. And, when you go to look at this, look, it did it right here. Okay. In this area, you have the red candle on the 20-period moving average with the green candle closing, and making higher highs than the high of the red candle. And then the stock went up. Okay. It does it over and over and over again. All right. That was a good indication that I want to be in this stock. Could it come down a little bit the next few days? Yes. But overall, this stock is trending up, right? And it looks super healthy. But one of the main reasons I got into this is because major institutions are holding BlackRock. Okay. You've got institutions major institutions like BlackRock are holding Regions Financial. Okay. BlackRock has 86 million shares they're holding. Vanguard has 120 million shares that they are holding. Okay, so the major institutions are holding Regions Financial. And, it wasn't hit as bad as some of the other bank stocks were because of the shutdown and all of that. All right. So when you see, big, huge investors and funds and institutional traders, holding stocks, that's a pretty, to me, that's a good sign. So I went ahead and bought 3 shares. I will be adding to this position. I didn't want to go all in today because, we had the topping tail on the daily, and I think Regions will come down a little bit on the daily chart, and I can probably get in for under $12. But as you can see, that's the most recent addition. Where is it here? Right here. 3 shares I got for $12.12. All right, and I'm already, it's already up. I'm hoping it comes down tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. So in the Robinhood account, I have Ally Financial, Regions Financial, ExxonMobil, SiriusXM, 1 share of that. I've got 3 shares of AT&T and 1 share of Apple. All right, so I'm building a nice, little dividend portfolio. We're diversifying. We're not going to lose all of our money. Ally Financial is similar. It is a dividend portfolio, but this is going to be more REIT heavy, right? Stocks like IRM, MPW, Medical Properties Trust, right? IRM is digital real estate. Can't go wrong with that, right? They basically house Google's servers. And then you've got Medical Properties Trust, MPW, hospital real estate, right? For big hospitals. The government's not going to let the hospitals fail. MPW is still going to get, the hospitals are going to pay the rent. I also have some Siri in there. I'm going to start collecting Siri because SiriusXM, it's a stable stock, right? It's stable. When you go to look at it, it's not like, it's moved between like $4.50 to $5.50. It's moved like $1, right? There is a little bit of a pullback, right? Not a little bit, a major pullback on this, but it's cents, right? This is very undervalued stock. They have a monopoly in satellite radio. They pay a dividend. So it's a good way. The way I see it is it's a good way to sort of just park money, right? If I have a few dollars left over, I don't know what to spend it on, I pick up a couple of shares of SiriusXM. And it's related to electric vehicles because a lot of these electric vehicles like Tesla, they come with subscriptions or like you can buy a monthly subscription to satellite radio, SiriusXM, through your like mobile, through your electric car. So yeah, it's related to that new sector, which is another reason I really like it as a long-term hold. AT&T, so altogether I've got 4 shares because I've got 3 AT&Ts in Robinhood. Pays a really nice dividend. It's kind of like a 5G play. I think anything under like $30 is great. AT&T is super undervalued. And then ExxonMobil, of course, right? I got 4 shares here. What do I got? 1 share, 2 shares here. So I'm going to start building the ExxonMobil position. I like ExxonMobil. I really like that ExxonMobil is showing signs of, maybe a little bit of life, maybe just a little bit, but we're still under that 20-period moving average. I wouldn't be surprised if it went down a couple more dollars. So yeah, those are the long-term dividend portfolios. I can't wait till I have hundreds of shares in here, right? I'm going to do it. It's going to take a while, but both of these portfolios, I'm going to buy these stocks and basically hold them forever. And I also got the drip, right? I've got the drip on, so my dividends will just be reinvested. They'll be buying fractional shares, and this is going to compound over time. This is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and my day trading income, will definitely go towards buying long-term positions. The WeBull portfolio, all right, is looking very good. We're up 4.7%. Right, in the portfolio. The market value of the portfolio is $500. Yeah, let me tell you the market value real quick. Market value here is about $370. Market value here is over $500. All right. So on WeBull, we got another $500, $510, and we're up almost 5%. All right. And you can see I'm diversifying here. This WeBull portfolio is definitely more speculative. This is for my growth stocks, right? New emerging industries like electronic or electric vehicles, the EV market. It's going to be huge, guys. We're so early, right? Older investors that have hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, a lot of them are buying banks and value stocks, right? They're maybe older people don't see the future the way, you know, millennials do. And I think electric vehicles is definitely going to be a part of the future. And it's also a way to hedge against oil, right? If oil does fail, well, at least we're in this new emerging market. I also have things like Dropbox, right? Cloud-based computing, Upwork, Slack, right? All of this stuff. We're down on a couple of the positions. The biggest position we're down on is actually Helion Tortoise acquisition, right? It's that merger. They actually have a contract to make natural gas trucks for Wegmans and another grocery store chain out of Texas. So they're going to be doing big things. I got in kind of high. My average price is $50. But, you know, if this comes down a little bit more, or if I can afford it in the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely going to buy more shares of SHLL. Workhorse, though, is my favorite. And as you can see, we're doing very well. We're up 16% on the Workhorse position. We have 5 positions of Workhorse, 5 positions of, shares of Workhorse, 5 shares of CleanSpark. I haven't really talked about CleanSpark much, but I'll give you guys a little hint. CleanSpark is going to be that company that solves the power outages in California. All right. Microgrids, new energy, right? These are the emerging markets of the future, and I want to be a part of them. And we are so early. I've got exposure to the Chinese electric vehicle market through NIO. All right. We're up 4% on the NIO shares. We've got 5 shares of that. And Blink Charging, right? Blink Charging really took a beating. When you go to look, let's look at Blink right here. They had like a hit piece out a couple of weeks ago, and they really took a beating. It looks like they found pretty good stable support around that $6-7 range. And so I will be buying more Blink Charging because those electric vehicles, they're going to need charging stations, okay? And then I like Nokia. Nokia is a good long-term play, especially considering the 5G and all of that. And it's at a very low price, right? You're talking about $4 a share. I think it's undervalued. A lot of the analysts that I've been watching on YouTube think it's undervalued, and it could definitely grow. It's a 5G play, right? This stock could definitely get a lot bigger with the arrival of that kind of technology. All right, so that is the long-term portfolios, and I think that's about it, guys. Like, there's nothing else I really want to cover. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I have another channel where I do more like vlog-style content. You can actually see my face, and we talk about the stocks, my trading, investing, all that kind of stuff. I want to reiterate this. Even though I'm day trading, the long-term portfolio is the main strategy, right? That is how we're all going to be building wealth long term. So get a long-term portfolio. If you're interested in Robinhood or WeBull, I encourage you to use my links in the description down below. If you use those links, you'll get free stock and I'll get free stock. It's a win-win situation. I've got really good stocks on the way. I just got a couple of more. Let's see, where was the notification for it? I think it was right here. I just got a couple more the other day. I don't know where the notification is, but I got like a $12 stock coming and a $15 stock coming. So it's really cool. You can buy it, sell it for stock that you actually want, or you can just take it out. But why would you want to do that? Well, what better way than to open up a brokerage account having free stock? So it's a pretty fantastic program, and it's a great way for you to support the channel as a viewer. So yeah, links are in the description. And follow me on social media. We're pretty much everywhere. All those links as well in the description. Comment down below, where are you putting your money? I would love to hear about what stocks you're interested in, what equities you're interested in, sectors, all that stuff. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. This is CMC Broadcasting. God bless.